Good morning, friends, and welcome to this episode. Today is episode number 13, and the topic is resourcefulness. What is resourcefulness? Resourcefulness is the ability to mobilize your resources, to innovate, to learn, and sometimes even influence people to get the job done. Now, let me illustrate this definition with the help of two wonderful examples. The first example is from the life of the great Sam Walton. Now, Sam Walton, if you don't know, was the founder of Walmart. And Walmart is what we have Amazon today, the digital marketing. Walmart is the biggest retail store in the world ever to be found. And in 1991, Sam Walton was declared as the richest man in the world, like Jeff Bezos has been declared as the richest man in the world today. So this is a wonderful story of how Sam Walton was resourceful and how he built such a huge empire and what kind of learning attitude he had. Now this was a big night when a new Walmart store was going to be open, and imagine it was to be a big affair, like we have people standing outside an Apple store to buy the new Apple phone. There used to be people standing outside the new Walmart store waiting for the ribbon to be cut so that they could just go in and do shopping. It was a big night for Sam Walton. And the store opened, and as expected they had huge sales. Now imagine if you are owner of such a store, how would you feel on such a night? When the whole thing ended, Sam Walton and his CEO, the Walmart CEO, they were going home in the same car, and the story is narrated by the CEO in one of his books. And he says, as we were traveling, just 2 lanes away from our new shop was the shop of a competitor. And Sam Walton looked at him and said, let's go and have a look at how they do business. Let's go and have a walk. The CEO's response was, tonight is a big night, we have opened a new store, now why do we have to go to a shop of a competitor? And anyways, there were talks that the competitor would have had to close down the shop in the next 6 months, now that as Walmart has come in the area. But notwithstanding all this, Sam Walton said, let's go and take a walk. Now Sam Walton never ever took a walk with anybody, he went alone. And he had a philosophy that always learn from your competitors. Because if the competitor is still doing business, that means he must be doing some things right. And if you say that I know everything that what he does, that would be the sign of arrogance. So the CEO said, because Sam was my boss, I reluctantly took a walk in the shop. And within the first few minutes, I was disappointed. Because there were cardboard boxes strewn everywhere on the floor, the salesmen were talking to each other, ignoring the customers. So within a few minutes, he said, I came to the conclusion, these guys are no match for us. Within 6 months, they're going to close down. And so he said, I just whiled away my time for the next 1 hour, losing interest to look at anything seriously. After 1 hour, Sam met him and said, so what do you say? And the CEO said, as expected, I don't think they are any good. They are going to close down in the next 6 months. Ignoring this, Sam asked him, have you visited a ladies section? And the CEO said, yes, but I didn't see anything different. He said, did you look at the racks? They have wonderful racks. You can display your goods and customers can look at it from all sides. We don't have those kind of racks. So the CEO said, okay, I'll find out who the vendor is so that we can get those. He said, no need. Here's the name and the number of the vendor. Now what Sam Walton had done was, he had gone from underneath the clothes, behind the rack, and down there is the sticker of the vendor. He found out the name and sticker of the vendor from there and gave it to a CEO. Now he chose not to delegate this job to any junior, he did it himself. Then he went on to ask, did you see at a particular brand of lipsticks, I waited there for 5 minutes and they are fast moving, we don't stock them, find out how we could stock them. And then he said, don't you think this is enough learning for tonight? Now this is the learning attitude which made Sam Walton what he was, and this is exactly what I call resourcefulness. Now comes the second example, which is from, it's a Pathik story. Now several years ago, we were conducting a mass motivational seminar and we expected not less than 1,000 people. The program was supposed to start sharp at 6, it was supposed to end at 10 o'clock at night. Now unfortunately at 5:20, there was no power in the auditorium. And mind you, this story is 15 years old, so there were no generators those times. So now we didn't know what to do. If there is no power, how do we conduct a program? And we couldn't have postponed it because 10 o'clock is anyways late. So if we postpone the program after that, people would not wait. Also, people may leave thinking that the program is not going to happen because there is no power. And to top it all was our tradition that Pathik never starts a program late. What do? We had a lot of discussions, and ultimately some genius in the team came out with the idea that we will start sharp at 6. So we told all the volunteers, go to the nearby markets and buy all the candles that you can. So we bought hundreds of candles, and all those candles were put on stage. The whole stage was lit with candles. I don't know if you can imagine that sight. There is no electricity, but the whole stage was fully lit with candles. It was a wonderful sight. There were 10 volunteers on either side of the stage. They held the curtains like that because there was no power, so we could not even open the curtains. Sharp at 6, I went and stood on the stage and I said, good evening friends. And with all the power I had, I was yelling, informing them that we are going to continue with the program with or without the power. I had to yell only for 3 minutes because thank God, sharp at 3 minutes past 6, the power came, the lights were on, the AC was on, and the program went on smoothly. But you know what, my dear friends? More than the content of the seminar and more than how I spoke, it is our commitment to start the program at 6 o'clock that impressed all the 1,000 people tremendously. And that is exactly what we call as resourcefulness. So whenever you have a challenge in front of you, instead of getting stressed, use all your resources, use your influence, use your innovation, use your learning to get over the challenge. Mind you, there is a wonderful quote which says, if the pressure on the egg is from outside, the egg breaks and life ends. But if the pressure is from within, the egg breaks and life is born. So put the pressure from within, use your resourcefulness and overcome the challenge. That's it for today. Learn more, contribute more, have fun in life and celebrate your uniqueness. And if you have liked this video, please click the like button. If you have learned something from this, please share it with all your friends. And if you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel because every Thursday we come up with a new episode so that you can learn something new. And most important, if you have a story of resourcefulness where you have used your resourcefulness and overcome a challenge, please share it in the comment section so that all of us can learn from you. Thank you, my dear friends, and see you next Thursday. That's it for today. Bye-bye.